So Parrish, you started before you were in the airlines before.
Hear Parrish break down how pilot hiring worked before the 1,500-hour rule came into play.
No, I think at those times, I guess the minimum you really needed, I think it's like 250, basic commercial pilot's license, right? But of course, the hours were always dictated on the market, based on the market, right? So like when I got hired, at Mesa, I think I had 550 hours total time, but 130 hours of multi, and like minimum was like 100 hours at the time. But as these other airlines started hiring more and more, and then like Mesa was like losing pilots to other regionals at the time, like they kept dropping the minimum. And I remember this. Two people, my new hire class had like 300 hours of total time and like a beach and like what is it? What do they call those? Float rating or whatever it is, like seaplane ratings, seaplane rating, and no like multi-time whatsoever. So back in those days, as long as you had the minimum for the FAA, what dictated it was the market, right? Yeah. So it was, of course, there's a catch-22. It's different. Back in those days, in my first airline job, I don't think I even made more than 20 grand my first year, right? But now a lot of these guys, a lot of these, these new pilots coming in, going to the regions, they're getting $20,000 bonuses, paid out over a year. So it's a completely different landscape, Granted, yeah, now you need to have more hours and more experience, right? And it costs more, right? But you're going to come into the airline making decent money. You're going to be, close to maybe possibly six figures by your second year. If you made it to your second year, because then you're getting picked up by a major, which was completely unheard of when I got it. You had to grind out in the regionals for probably close to a decade, been a check airman and tons of PIC turbine time and, space shuttle, moon landings. It was just, back in those days, it was insane, but now guys are just hopping between majors like it's going out of